Watch This Shit podcast. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. My name is Seneca, the movie professor. With this podcast, we're going to give you the definitive decision on whether you should go view the movie release or not. It's real easy. If we say, watch this shit, stop what you're doing, and enjoy some good cinema. If we say, don't watch this shit, avoid it as you would walking down icy stairs. Or don't. You can do what you want. It may be fun, or it might see you learning a new version of the song Bump Bump Bump. You want to listen to us? You put your life in your own hands. Damn, that was a great movie experience a couple Thursdays ago. Today, I'm going to discuss the first movie that was part of my double feature that day. As I said in the Marvels review, this was one of the best movie experiences of the year for me. The movies were enjoyable, the staff was friendly, and even the patrons of the theater were just good, decent people. Not like my second viewing of the Marvels from that Sunday after. I walked to the concession stand, and the guy behind the counter was busy with both hands fluffing his hair. I mean, he was really in there getting hair particles and dandruff all over the place. No, sir. I don't want you to be the one that gets my food and drink. But I digress. Let's get on to it. I'm going to review The Holdovers, Home Alone in a boarding school with adult supervision. Damn. Or, alternately, Lord of the Flies with a minimal number of conscious adults to stop all hell from breaking loose. I like both of those. This movie this movie story seems basic, but it is complex on a few levels. I'll give more context to that in a bit, but first let's get into the story. A boys' boarding school in New England during the early 70s prepares for winter break. Any students that don't get picked up by their families must remain on campus with one faculty member watching over them. There aren't many that fall into this category. 4 boys total are initially listed as being holdovers, but as anybody can attest, no one, especially a child, wants to be without their family during the holidays. This basic premise hides a deeper meaning as during the runtime, we learn a lot about the life of one of the boys, his instructor, and the cafeteria lady that is on hand to prepare their meals. The style of the film falls right in line with the time period it is set in. Not only are the aesthetics super 70s, this means like you see the big boxy TVs and the funky color wall paint, but they went as far as they make the filmmaking process resemble what the style was at that time. There are parts of the film that are slightly grainy, with even deep pops in the footage. Some scenes appear to be more pillar box than letterbox. This is about format ratios. The scene transitions also show hints of filmmaking trends from the old days, fading into a scene while the previous scene is still fading out. That was pulled right out of the past. They don't do it like that anymore. But those details are what gives the film its distinctive flavor. If you remember those old films that would come on regular ass TV when you were young, then this will visually be in the same vein as what was on during a boring ass evening at home. One of the earliest scenes featured an object in the windowsill that was suspiciously similar to an Oscar statue. I said to myself, they sure are bold, but sometimes you just got to put it out there and see what happens. Paul Giamatti is killing it here. He definitely got in his bag to play the character of Paul Hunnam. This is the instructor that got stuck with the less than favorable task of babysitting the students during the Christmas holiday 2-week break. His code of ethics doesn't allow him to take it easy on the kids, even during their vacation. There is required reading, assignments, and structured exercise time to fill out the agenda for each day. It's just like the young people are still in school. Only now it's even worse because in school you would expect to have to deal with these activities. Think about how fucked up this would be for any high school student. On your break, not only do you have to stay at the school, you are also subjected to extra work, all because circumstances force you to have to be there instead of somewhere fun. Paul doesn't give these little motherfuckers any quarter. Before they are let on vacation, he has one final class with his students. His interactions with the kids are evident when he hands damn near all of them failing marks on their semester final. One super annoying kid proclaims, I can't fail this class. He immediately retorts without taking a breath, "Don't sell yourself short." He doesn't stop there. Every time they make a statement, he hits them with the stinger that leaves them verbally defenseless. The dialogue is witty and sharp. The timing of his comebacks is rapid. As soon as these niggas say something, he's on their ass. It's not as bombastic as one of my top 5 favorite movies, Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, but the verbal jousting is still amazing, be it one-sided. The audience learns a lot more about why and how he became who he is. This is where I get into the intricacies of the storytelling. Initially, The Holdovers seems to describe the kids left at school, but through brilliant plotting and pacing, all of the characters can easily fall into that same category. The teacher is no different, but I won't give away what makes him fit. The payoff is worth it though, for you to see it yourself. The kid that ends up being the last holder over standing, Angus Tully, is played by Dominique Sessa. The others get invited to and accept a ski trip vacation of one of their fellow students who only had to wait it out for his parents to cool off after an argument that he had with them before they all get picked up. Unfortunately for Tully, his mother was unreachable due to her trying to live her best life with her new husband. Without the verbal confirmation that he was authorized to leave campus, Paul couldn't reasonably allow him to go, meaning it would be it would just be those two for the majority of the time. There are hints at some mental instability in the youth, but he is also exceptionally bright. Matter of fact, he is the second best verbal combatant at the school. Before the other boys leave, he is able to use basic communication skills to make them look even dumber than they already are. He relishes in this fact until he learns the unfortunate news that he must remain on campus. That realization puts him on a path of learning far more about the world than he was prepared for. The actor doesn't have any other credited roles under his belt, but puts forth a decent performance. Some of his spots are a little rough, but for a first time silver screen debut, he pulls off a believable high school kid. I don't know his true age, but looking at his Google photos with that scraggy beard, he's not 15. He can't be. Divine Randolph is phenomenal as Mary Lamb. She's the cafeteria worker that ensures the kids and faculty remaining at the school have meals daily. She has the saddest story of the entire film. When it opens, we are present at the funeral of her son. He went to Nam and didn't return alive. She was working at the school so that he would get a good education, but as they weren't rich, he had to enlist to try to use the GI Bill to further that education. The term holdover also applies to her as she is left alone and dealing with the grief of such a tragic event. There are times when Devine will give a simple look or a muted sound that give away so much of who she is as a person. The way she cares for the nutrition of these little bastards, even though she knows for sure many of them look down on her, is commendable. These people are born with more than her or her son ever had, and because of that, they could never understand the pain she is going through by losing the only thing in the world she held precious. She isn't angry or depressed in her performance, but there is also a great sadness that the character carries with her that will always be a part of her. Not an easy role to pull off, but she expertly owns it. And that's just the basics of her tragic story, because there's some other things that she says during the film that, like I said, put her in the realm by herself as the most tragic character in the story. My final verdict here is watch this shit. I was treated to a holiday movie surprise that I almost passed on. The showtimes worked out so perfectly that I couldn't think of an excuse not to see the film, and I'm glad that I viewed it. Which brings me to my next thought. I want to pose a question to our listeners. If you're on YouTube, jump down in the comments and tell us what your favorite holiday movie is. Yes, Die Hard counts. Matter of fact, the movie that gets the most mentions in the comments, we will drop a full review for before Christmas. So go ahead, get your votes in now so I can prep the team. Thank you for listening to another episode of Watch This Shit. You're coming for the realest take on new movies. So make sure you follow us so you're not left in the dark on whether you should check out a new movie or not. If you haven't seen this shit yet, what the fuck are you waiting for? We told you what to do. Now it's up to you to go do it. Come back and check us out next time when we review the Disney Plus series Loki Season 2. And good day to you. Before you go, don't forget put your favorite holiday movie in the comments. Do it now. Thank you.